Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a literal game changer in the sciences. We're looking at how artificial intelligence is taking on the sheer, mind-boggling scale of biological data to completely revolutionize molecular biology. I mean, think about it. Trillions of cells in your body, endless DNA sequences, wildly complex protein folding. Historically, studying this stuff has been an incredibly slow, manual grind. But as we'll see today, when you combine AI, machine learning, deep learning, and bioinformatics, you get a brand new era of computational molecular biology, and it is moving at a speed we have absolutely never seen before.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Decoding biology with AI. 2. Reading the code of life. 3. Proteins, drugs, and disease. 4. The technologies powering discovery. And finally, 5. Challenges and future horizons. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Decoding biology with AI.
To really understand the solution here, we've got to understand the problem. Traditional biology faces massive bottlenecks, right? We're talking about incredible biological complexity and just absolute mountains of genomic data. When researchers study DNA, RNA, proteins, and cellular interactions, they're looking at datasets so huge that the human brain literally cannot process them efficiently. So this brings up a massive fundamental question for modern scientists. How on earth do we find patterns hidden in millions upon millions of DNA sequences? Trying to manually find these needles in the biological haystack takes years, not to mention massive funding. And that is exactly where AI in molecular biology steps in. We're talking about applying artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to analyze biological data, predict molecular functions, and speed up discoveries in genetics, medicine, and biotechnology. We are no longer just guessing and checking through trial and error. Instead, we're using immense computational power to predict and discover patterns that are practically invisible to us humans. AI analyzes large-scale genomic data, improves research efficiency, and slashes experimental time and costs. It's essentially a hyper-intelligent research assistant that never, ever sleeps.
Moving on to Section 2, Reading the Code of Life.
By rapidly analyzing millions of DNA and RNA sequences, algorithms basically act as a speed reader for the code of life. In genomics, AI spots crucial info, like cancer mutations or genetic disease risks, in a fraction of the usual time. But it doesn't stop at DNA, right? By studying RNA expression patterns, which is known as transcriptomics, AI helps us classify cell types and discover biomarkers. For you and me, this points to a future where diseases can be detected way before symptoms ever even show up. How incredible is that? Okay, Section 3, Proteins, Drugs, and Disease. Now, in biology, structure determines function. Predicting how a protein folds into its 3D shape has historically been one of the most frustrating challenges in molecular biology. Why? Because the number of ways a single protein could theoretically fold is so vast, it would take a regular computer longer than the age of the universe to try them all. Biology actually calls this Leaventhal's paradox. But get this, AI has fundamentally cracked the code. Systems can now accurately predict 3D protein structures, folding patterns, and functional regions almost instantly. It is a total game changer.
So here is why that matters. This structural knowledge puts drug discovery on the fast track. Once we know the 3D structure of a protein linked to a disease, we can design a drug to specifically target it. AI accelerates this whole process by first identifying the drug target, then virtually screening thousands of compounds, predicting molecular docking, which is essentially how well a drug binds to its target, and even predicting drug toxicity. It helps researchers pick the most promising drug molecules long before they spend a dime on expensive lab testing.
All of this translates directly into massive advancements for medical research, especially when we look at cancer and molecular diagnostics. AI supports cancer biology by analyzing mutations, classifying tumors, and identifying biomarkers, which brings us way closer to true precision oncology. This means treatments aren't a guessing game anymore. They're predicted and customized based on your unique molecular data. Plus, AI drastically improves disease detection. It can identify pathogens and diagnose genetic diseases through molecular data analysis way faster than traditional methods ever could. Which brings us to Section 4, the technologies powering discovery. You know, the heavy lifting here isn't done by just one type of AI. It's actually a mix of 4 distinct technologies. First up, classic machine learning, which is perfect for pattern recognition and classification. Then there's deep learning. This uses artificial neural networks to tackle super complex problems like advanced genome analysis and protein prediction. Third is natural language processing, or NLP. This one is fascinating. It's used to rapidly mine scientific literature, extracting biological info, and connecting the dots across millions of published papers that a human could never read in a single lifetime. And finally, computer vision analyzes microscopy images, visually identifying cells and detecting diseases. Each tech solves a totally different piece of the puzzle. When we look at the industry's current heavy hitters, tools like DeepMind's AlphaFold have just completely revolutionized protein structure prediction. Then you've got systems like AlphaMissense interpreting genetic variants to help us understand diseases at the absolute genetic level. And of course, specialized AI docking tools and machine learning models are being heavily used right now to analyze how well a potential new drug interacts with a specific biological target. It is an incredibly powerful suite of tools currently working in labs worldwide.
Let's wrap up with Section 5, Challenges and Future Horizons.
Now, the advantages here are pretty clear, right? AI handles massive data sets, speeds up discovery, and drastically cuts experimental costs. But let's ground the hype for a second and look at the limitations. AI is a tool, not a magic wand. It requires highly accurate, massive data sets to learn properly. If your data quality is bad, your predictions are going to be bad. Plus, living systems are wildly complex, and that makes them really tough to predict perfectly. So the key takeaway here is that computational predictions absolutely still require physical lab validation. Just because a computer says a drug works doesn't mean we can skip the clinical trials. But despite those hurdles, the future is incredibly bright. Looking ahead, we're moving toward fully automated labs where AI handles experiment planning, sample analysis, and data interpretation. We're also seeing a huge push for multi-omics integration, meaning AI will look at genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, and more, all at the same time, giving us a complete, holistic understanding of biology. And naturally, this explosion of tech is creating massive new career opportunities. The industry is practically begging for people skilled in bioinformatics and data science who can bridge the gap between computer engineering and biotechnology. Which brings us to our final thoughts. The ultimate frontier here is synthetic biology. AI is already helping us design synthetic genes, engineer microorganisms, and optimize metabolic pathways. As we integrate computational intelligence even further with the life sciences, we really have to wonder, how soon will this technology evolve from simply decoding and reading life to actually designing completely new artificial biological systems from scratch? The tools are already in place, and the next decade of molecular biology is going to be a thrilling ride to watch. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep exploring how AI is reshaping the very fabric of science.